Bonjour and welcome to French 1 with Mr. McCoy. This is lesson 12 dedicated to the definite article in French. Now, our learning objective for this lesson is for you to be able, at the end of the lesson, to state the different forms of the definite article that we have in French, and also to have a basic understanding of the way the definite article is used in French. Okay? I hope you remember from lesson 3a that we have two forms of the indefinite article, two singular forms of the indefinite article in French. Un, when we use masculine nouns, and une for feminine nouns. Again, un and une. Okay? And I hope you had a basic understanding, or acquired a basic understanding of the indefinite article from that lesson. Okay? So now that we're turning our attention to definite articles, I want you to think about more, not vague things, but more specific or specified things. Okay? So just give an example. If I were to say in English, in our classroom, there is a clock. The clock makes a tick-tock sound. Okay? The first time I mentioned the noun clock, as is our custom in English, I used an indefinite article. I said, in our classroom there is a clock. That was my first mention of the noun. After that I said, the clock makes a tick-tock sound. Okay? When I used the definite article the second time, I used that because I'd already made mention of the clock, and I'm referring now to the clock that I just mentioned. Okay? The clock that is in our classroom. Okay? Works very much the same way in French. I could give you the example sentence. Dans notre salle de classe, il y a une horloge. L'horloge fait tic-toc, tic-toc. Okay? Again, first time I mentioned the noun, une horloge, une horloge. There is a clock. Okay? L'horloge fait tic-toc. Okay? The clock. Okay? Which one? The one I just mentioned. The one I said was in our class. Okay? So again, it works kind of the same way. Okay? Like I said, we use the indefinite and definite articles in English without really thinking about the way we use them in different ways. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay? That's kind of one way that we're going to use the definite article in French to refer to a specific noun. Okay? The whiteboard that I'm using. Okay? The camera that I'm looking at. Okay? The students I'm talking to. The video that I'm trying to make. Okay? Think specific. Okay? Definite, specific. Okay? So here are the forms of the definite article in French. Okay? And all these are kind of like an equivalent to the in English. Okay? So for masculine singular nouns we use le. For feminine singular nouns we use la. Okay? And for plural nouns, either masculine or singular, it's the same form. Les. Les. Okay? So repeat with me. We have le, la, les. Les. Okay? Le, la, les. Les. Okay? But notice also, if we have a singular noun that starts with a vowel sound, we use not le, but l'apostrophe if it's masculine, l'apostrophe if it's feminine singular. Okay? So l'apostrophe if the noun starts with a vowel sound. Okay? So those are the forms of the definite article. And remember, in French, all our modifiers, articles, adjectives have to agree in gender and number with the nouns they modify. That is the nouns they refer to. They have to agree in gender and number. Okay? So you have masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, feminine plural. Okay? So those are the four forms. Okay? So for example, to give you an example of usage, I could talk about le café, the coffee, le café, la glace, ice cream, okay, l'eau, the water, okay, les pommes, the apples, okay. So again, le café, la glace, l'eau. It's called elision. We use the l'apostrophe. L'eau, les pommes, okay. Now, let me go and mention out to you at this point the big difference in my estimation, okay? The way we use the definite articles in French versus English is that when we refer to nouns in the general sense, okay, in French we're going to use the definite article. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, if I talk about coffee in a general sense, I want to say I like coffee, or I hate coffee, or she likes coffee. Okay, in French I have to use the definite article. Okay, so just standing by itself, le café, again this isn't a whole sentence, okay, but le café could refer to the coffee that I just ordered at Dunkin' Donuts. It could mean the coffee that's in my carafe, or my travel cup, okay, or it could mean coffee in general, okay. Same thing, la glace could refer to the ice cream, which perhaps I just served myself, the ice cream I just ordered at Baskin-Robbins, or ice cream in a general sense. Okay? So again, it can mean a specific noun, okay, that we can point to, or the noun in a general sense. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Alright? So we know the pronunciation, the four forms. Le, masculine singular, la, feminine singular, l'apostrophe for singular in front of a vowel sound, okay? Les for plural, okay? Now the last thing, before we wrap this up, okay, just keep in mind, okay? In front of a consonant sound, the S is going to be silent. So the women, or women in general, would be les femmes, okay? Don't pronounce the S. Les femmes, alright? But men, the word for men, or man, okay, in French, it starts with a vowel sound. Homme, okay, so the men, or men in general. Okay, again, we usually don't pronounce this S, but since we have a vowel sound here, we pronounce it in a liaison. We pronounce les hommes, okay? And you have to pronounce it that way, okay? Don't neglect to pronounce that S there. If it's in front of a vowel, pronounce the S in a liaison, like a Z, okay? Les hommes, les femmes, okay? Last little thing to point out to you, there are a handful of nouns in French that start with that appear to start with a vowel sound, like le homard, the word for lobster in French, okay? Now, a good dictionary will point this out to you. If you look this up and you see, for example, an asterisk, that tells you that this is a vowel sound, or an H, which doesn't permit the elision, okay? So you wouldn't use the l'apostrophe to say the lobster, or lobster in general. You'd have to leave it apart, okay? That makes sense? Again, these nouns, which have the asterisks, they don't allow you to use the l'apostrophe. You have to space it out, okay? Le homard, okay? But those nouns will be marked in the dictionary for you, okay? So we'll practice with this. Merci, et au revoir.